With the big game coming up tomorrow in the Carabao Cup second leg semi-final, we have acquired the services of a very good Tottenham fan. He goes by the name of Henry from his channel Henry Talks Football, and we thought we'd chop out with him so we can get an insight into how Tottenham fans are feeling going to the game. So sit back, relax. This is Good Cop, Bad Cop. Let's see what we do with this preview.
Shout out to Kopish.
Shout out to Kopish, guys.
All the good work
the
up.
Two legends, Emil Heskey, Howard Gill. Can't get much better than that, guys. Yeah. You know what to do now. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm with legends, guys.
Kopish.
Right, people, as always, when we get behind the mic, please make sure you subscribe, comment, and like. Henry, bro, first and foremost, thanks for making time for us. We know you're a busy guy and doing some great things on the scene at the moment. So thanks so much for joining us, bro. How are you doing?
Yeah, pleasure to be back on. How am I doing? I'm nervous. I'm not gonna lie. It's this week for me is kind of like make or break for Ange in the Tottenham scene, and the one place you don't really want to end up going is Anfield. But we've beaten you this season, so that's something I guess we can say. But yeah, obviously I'm good, and hope you're both well, and everyone in the chat. Big up,
bro. Drift, how you doing, bro?
Remember when we always used to be like, Ange, just don't get sacked before we play Tottenham. Yeah, I'm worried that's gonna come back and beat us.
Right.
Apologies, someone got my door.
Well, that was Ange for a second. Yeah, do you know what? Obviously, we spoke about this yesterday on the preview we did yesterday, and obviously we wanted to get Henry in just because it's always good to speak to an opposition fan and get their thoughts and feelings on the game and just to get their perspective, because obviously we know a bit about Tottenham, but we're not going to know about Tottenham like Henry does. So Henry, you spoke about Ange just being a make or break week for him. What's your thoughts on him this season? Because last season he kind of came to the league and it became everyone's sort of second favorite manager, apart from Arsenal fans, obviously. This season, everyone's turned the other way and they're ridiculing him. How are Tottenham fans feeling about him on a whole now?
Do you know what it is for me? It's like I've been on this Ange out train since October, right? I look at the way we're playing. There's like the way we play is so predictable. There's like a blueprint out there on how to beat Spurs, which is just sit back and counter, really, because when it gets to the 60th minute, we start to flag and we start losing energy because we're, gunning for everyone 100% the entire game. And everyone could talk about the injuries we've got, and don't get me wrong, the injuries are horrendous. Like we've had Archie Gray playing centre back for the entire season practically. Romero was supposed to be back early January. No idea when he's back. Van der Ven's hamstring injury. But then we've still had some horrendous results, losing to Ipswich, losing to Palace. We've lost more games than we've won this season. But the narrative in the Spurs fan base is just giving the cups. And that's all well and good. But let's say on Sunday, hypothetically, if we lose to you boys and Villa, and they've got Rashford and Asensio making their debut against us as well. So that doesn't give me huge confidence. If we're sitting here on Sunday and we're out of both cups, we're 15th in the Premier League. It doesn't matter how you dress that up. 15th in the Premier League is categorically unacceptable. Forget we haven't won a trophy in 17 years or whatever. This team isn't that bad. Brentford don't have a better all-round squad than us, in my opinion. Neither the Fulham, neither the Brighton. Neither the Bournemouth are performing, but player for player, I don't think they're better than us. But what they've all got is managers that will adapt. They've got managers like when Fulham got a point against Arsenal, it's a completely different way of playing than when they play against Newcastle. Whereas we're the same every single game. And I think this is make or break. If we win tomorrow night, he's a hero, right? We're in the final, 90 minutes, one-off game. Everyone will be, cheering him on in his corner. But it goes the same way. If we get pumped like we did in December, I lost my head. I had to go for a walk. I've never been that angry at a game in a while because 6-3 was it should have been more. Like Diaz had that chance where he put it over the bar. Gakpo had a chance. Salah had 2 or 3 chances. Szoboszlai hit the bar. Like, and that's been us to a T this season. We lost 3-2 to Galatasaray. But Victor Osimhen had 10 shots. We lost 4-3 to Chelsea. On the scoreline, it doesn't look horrendous, but they had so many opportunities. Bournemouth should have scored more. Bournemouth should have scored 3 or 4 against us. Same as Forest. And I look at this manager and the transfer window for me, anyone says it's above a 4, I think is lying. Like we put a last minute bid in for Gahey. He apparently was the number 1 transfer market. Then why are we doing deadline day bids? Why don't we go out there on January the 1st and sign him? And all that does is tell me that Romero's leaving because, Madrid are looking for a centre-back. I'm not saying he's Madrid level, but it just makes sense for him to get a bigger move and us bringing Gahey and have Gahey and Van der Ven. But look, this game for me, it's the biggest game of the season. Biggest game of the season. Because if we get pumped, we go into that Villa game, confidence, we're on the floor. If we go and win at Anfield, we'll be on cloud 9. But I look at you lot as well. Like I know you've got no Trent for this game, but you're firing on every cylinder, aren't you? Like you boys must be on cloud 9 right now. Like you must be sitting there thinking, like, this is what I wanted. Like, everyone's talking about that Arsenal result. No one's talking about Liverpool because Liverpool did their job. You went out there, 3 points, clean sheet, job done. We'll move on to the next game.
Yeah, I feel bad because of everything you just said. I feel bad being happy about football now because I didn't realize Spurs fans are going through it just like they are. From the outside looking, we're just having a laugh in it, but you guys are. Really
we're at each other's necks, Cal. I'm having like full on rows with some of our fans, like saying, "I'll give Ange time, give Ange time." Yeah. I was with Chris from Redmen the other day, and he doing this poker thing, and he said something it's been stuck in my head for about 3 weeks, saying that you can give a man time, but you can also give the wrong man time. And I think that is so true
that's the bar.
Ange hasn't really shown, other than that Brentford result recently, that he can adapt to what's in front of him. Like Slot, when it comes to the 60th minute, Trent's not playing well, Conor Bradley goes on. If Robertson's not playing well, Tsimikas goes on. If Szoboszlai is not in the fold, Curtis Jones will come on. We don't do that. We make changes. They're the most stupidest decision. Like Bergvall has been one of our better performers this season. He'll just hook him off for Sarr or Bentancur. And you're thinking, that change makes no sense. They're 2 completely different players. But yeah, this game for me, back to your question, it's the biggest game of the season, without a shadow of a doubt.
Drift. I don't want to speak for you, but am I right in saying that obviously it's a big game for Liverpool because it's a semi-final? But if I was to say to you right now, and I hate putting you in this spot, but if I was to say to you right now, we go out to Spurs in the semi-final, but we 100% beat Everton, are you taking that compromise?
Yeah.
You're taking that?
Can you add one extra thing to it?
No caveat. I can't.
No, the caveat doesn't help Liverpool.
All right, go on then. What's the caveat?
Newcastle get the job done. I can't have Tottenham versus Arsenal in the final because Arsenal will win that. And fuck watching Arsenal win anything.
At least we're on the same page with that then.
Yeah. And for both reasons. I don't want them to win anything, and I don't want them to have the extra brag. They win a North London derby final, and you'll think they won the Champions League. So I don't want none of that extra brag. So that's why I want Liverpool to win. But if you said Newcastle, we're going to get the job done, and then I could enjoy the final and not be bothered who won, but we win against Everton, yeah, I'd give Tottenham the final.
All right, so Henry, the reason I asked Drift that is because we're not diminishing the cab. By the way, that's not my answer. I want everything, as Terry's saying I want the quad and all that. The reason I asked that question though is because as Liverpool fans, we are suffering from PTSD. We are extremely happy with how we are performing so far this season. Extremely happy with what we've done in the Champions League, what we're doing in the league so far. But our holy grail of the Premier League, we've been here so many times, and then we've always been pipped to it by City. This time, it looks like it's going to be a 2-horse race between us and Arsenal. That a lot of Liverpool fans are on Drift's side of things, saying, "Look, we want to win it because we're in the semi-final, but it's not the be-all and end-all for us." And that's where I worry. That's why I worry a little bit. I don't know if that's why you worry, Drift, but that's part of the reason I worry about this game a little bit, because I don't know if the players and the fans are going to have that on their mind. And plus, because we're just expected to turn Spurs over, football doesn't usually work like that. And then there's always a spanner that happens. So Drift, back to you. Why do you have that feeling that you wouldn't mind going out if it means we beat Everton?
Because I think a 9-point lead gives us one hand on the trophy. Whereas I think if we lose, God forbid, if we lose that Everton game, all we're doing is just continuing to give Arsenal encouragement that if they keep going, maybe they can catch us. I just want to totally lock off all of their confidence. Do you know what I mean? I just want to shut the door on their belief. While they've got belief, they're going to keep playing well. They're going to keep pushing, etc., etc. So yeah, and I mean they did well to beat City after us beating Bournemouth because that was a lot of pressure on them. To be fair to them, I know City are absolute garbage, and I'd get that game investigated because it actually looked like City were trying to lose. But that's besides the point. Arsenal still dealt with the pressure and they won the game. You know what I mean? So I just wanna lock off their and plus they're going to Dubai. Fuck knows what they do over there. But we remember what happened last time. So I don't want them coming back from Dubai and going on no run or whatever. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. Remember, they don't have a distraction now with the cups, so they've got less games to play. Yeah, I just want to get
Do you
that.
know what thing though? Like you lot of, I know you've had a lot of stress. I like to call it, but you've been there, seen it, and done it. None of these Arsenal players have. You've won Champions Leagues, you've won FA Cups, you've won League Cups, you've won League titles. And the thing that I think, even if Arsenal get close to you, they don't have the firepower like you lot. Brentford, Darwin Núñez steps up, bags a couple of goals. Against Ipswich, it's Cody Gakpo. Mohamed Salah, like the disrespect to people comparing this guy to Eden Hazard, he's putting up like Messi level numbers right now. He's got close to 40 GA this season. That's like Messi numbers.
He's already got it. He's got 40.
But there you go. Like he's playing out of his skin. But like at the beginning, come like October, November, September, October, when you was like, I think you beat, was it Leverkusen? Was that in November?
Yeah.
People were calling you like a one-man team. Now you're just, other people are stepping up now. Like Gravenberch for me at the moment is the best midfielder in the league. But like the only one you could maybe say is around that like category is Caicedo from Chelsea. Yeah. I think Gravenberch is absolutely ridiculous. But like you collectively as a team, I know Arsenal beat City, and I know for them it's a bigger thing because there's this, rivalry that doesn't exist going on. Yeah. But you like I said, you still did your job. I can see a world in where you go to Everton and come away with something, but it won't be like a 2-3, 4-0. It'll be like a 2-1 because Everton right now they're playing. David Moyes is just, I don't know what it is about him. When the chips are against him and the odds are stacked against him, he pulls through. Yeah. So, but I think you can do it. If I was to say to you, would you rather? I know Drift's already given his answer, Cal. Would you rather beat Everton or beat us? What would you say? Like you're going to lose one of those games. You can only win one. What would you say?
I'd lose the Everton game. And the reason I say that is because we'd still have a 6-point gap. And I still believe 6 points would be enough for us to get over the line. So I get everyone's hesitation with that. And I get everyone would want the 9 points. And I guess for everyone's not like me in the sense of the Carabao Cup for me is an important trophy to win. So not everyone's
you got to play Arsenal as well at Anfield.
Yeah, we've got to play them at
Anfield. That's where you could potentially get them points back.
Yeah. So yeah, I would take the Carabao Cup win against you guys. I'd lose that game if given the scenario you've given, and then I'd bet on my team to keep that 6-point gap or a gap until the end of the season.
Yeah, like for us, I mean, there's no point even us talking about our league because we're at one point I was actually convinced we were going to go down, and I'm not even taking the piss. Like are you losing to Everton and Leicester in back-to-back games? For me, that they're some of the worst footballing sides. Like Calvert-Lewin, 1 goal in 17, plays us like he's like prime 9 for a day, but like twisting and turning defenders.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was actually crazy.
And then Jamie Vardy, like I love a bit of shithousery, but I can't stand that guy. He's been doing it to us for 10 years now. Yeah. Enough. Just retire. Like pointing to the Premier League badge. Like, and do you know what? As well, it's mad because we've been run through more times this season than flipping Bonnie Blue has, and she's taken 1,000 geezers at one time. We've had some horrendous results.
I'll be honest. I was on Saeed's channel a couple of weeks ago, but a couple of weeks ago, and obviously your nickname's the Lily Whites. I've now called you guys the Lily Phillips, because
listen, we've got our legs open up like Ashton Wet, just getting pumped. Doesn't matter who we're up against. I was nicknaming us Robin Hood because we're not even taking points off the poor and giving them taking it off the rich and giving them to the poor. We're just giving everyone points. Yeah. We're like, come in, start having a Tesco's and then saying, come and nick what you want, and then just walk out with no consequences because we were just getting opened up. I've never seen anything like it. And the thing is, our fan base is, I don't want to be the guy to say I told you also, but there isn't a huge amount of people online, especially, that are Ange out, and I just can't work it out.
Yeah.
Like, come Sunday, if we're out of both cups, what's the narrative going to be then? We're 15th in the league, and all we've got to play for is the Europa. And let's be honest, are we going to beat Athletic Bilbao? Are we going to beat Lazio the way we're playing? I don't think so.
Yeah, I think people hate change. I think we have this issue with the FSG debate at the moment. I just think people really hate change, and I think people would rather stick with the devil they know than the devil they don't. So they might not rate Ange, but the first question people will say is, "Well, who can you go and get? Who's better? Who's out there you can go and get?" And I'm just like,
just go straight to Bournemouth, give him £20 million and go and get Areola.
That's what.
Go to Fulham, give him £10 million and get Silva. Like, and this is the thing. Ange's been managing for 26 years. There's a reason why he's never been in a Premiership or La Liga or the Bundesliga. Because if he's managing Celtic every week, by all means, you can beat St Mirren, you can win a title at Ibrox away. But the Premier League at the moment, I'd argue this season is the most competitive it's been in one, if not maybe the 2016-17 season. Those two seasons are the most competitive I've ever seen it. You got teams like Bournemouth going up to Newcastle and scoring 4 goals.
Yeah. And
then Nottingham Forest beating Brighton 7-0. Like, it's crazy right now. There's too many games, there's too many injuries, it's too competitive. But we're not really moving forward. We're kind of staying where we are.
Yeah, completely agree.
I think it is because of that. I was saying this to Cal yesterday, Henry. I actually think you're going to get Areola or maybe Silva. One of the top don managers at the smaller teams. And I reckon that's the reason why you'll leave Ange in charge till the summer. It'll be easier to get it done. Then the manager can have a pre-season without all the worries. You've seen what's happening with Amorim. People always seem to think it is good to do that mid-season change. Sometimes it isn't. Sometimes the manager comes in and he ain't got time and he looks just as bad as the other one and he loses that new manager bounce. Amorim is fucked. I'm sorry. People just think he's just going to turn this around. He's got so much of this judge on him now of being a Man United manager with the bad stuff. He's not going to be able to just turn it around in the summer like if he was fresh. If he was fresh, everybody like, right, new manager. Look, now they're all going to be like, oh, God, is he that good? Remember, fucking lost at home to Crystal Palace. They've got all these bad memories now with him. Do you know what I mean? Maybe Tottenham don't want to ruin it. Just give it to Areola in the summer.
The argument I'd say to that is if we leave it with Ange, and let's say we finish anywhere between 10th and 15th, which I think right now is realistic. And let's say we don't win anything. When it comes down to the summer market, and you've got Romero and Van de Ven thinking, we're not even playing in Europe this season, lads. Romero, mark my words, will be gone in the next 18 months. His head's going to be turned, and then how can we attract players in if we're sitting 10th? We don't have a scouting network like Brighton where we can just go and get some hidden gem in some cave in Argentina who come out playing out of his skin. We're not like that.
I don't think anyone's like that apart from Brighton. But I think Brighton are the only team in the world who can find these gems.
But I mean, we've paid. So like this Matthias Tell guy we've signed, that entire situation scenario is crazy. Daniel Levy jets out to Bayern Munich. He's told no face-to-face. Or we're supposed to believe told no face-to-face. And then Ange Postecoglou saves the deal. It just kind of, it just looks to me like it's a PR thing. Oh, let's get everyone back on side. We've got Matthias Tell. But again, it's another raw teenager that, like, when Solanke's back fit, is he going to play? And I understand it's a squad game, but where does he play? Because we can't drop Kulu. He's like undroppable right now. Yeah. So when Solanke's back fit, he's our best number 9, and the club are never going to drop Son because he's the what I like to call the franchise player. He's like the Luka Doncic who somehow just turned up at the Lakers. Like it's unheard of. But Yeah, hopefully this manager's gone in the summer and we can actually try and move on with our lives. 'Cause it is painful. Like it's yeah. I've got wax in my hair right now. When it's dried out, you'll see that it's grey, and the missus doesn't exactly help that situation. But
Henry's crashing out on everyone.
Yeah.
Oh,
Henry, I want to get your opinions on this. Obviously, as a Liverpool fan base, we've spoken about this till the cows come home. Liverpool's contract situation with Trent, Salah, and Virgil. From the outside looking in, what do you think of that? And who do you think stays and who do you think potentially goes out of the three?
I think I'll start with Van Dijk because I think there's been kind of less media attention to his contract situation compared to the other two. If it was like every time Salah scores, it's put a pyramid statue outside of Anfield, like pin him down. Van Dijk, for me, I think will sign a new deal. And I think it will be dropped out of nowhere. And I think he'll be the captain going into next season. Salah's situation, I don't know. Because if he does leave, hypothetically, you've got to bring in two players that can replace his output. There's a lot of talk about you're going to have this huge summer window where you're going to go out and do £200-300 million. And I can see that. You've got Edwards, running the club. We had Edwards. He made some unbelievable signings, for us at Son, Alderweireld, etc. But FSG going to drop £300 million. Find that hard to believe. So I can see a world in which Salah signs and also leaves. If you used to pin me down to an answer, I'd say he stays. However, Trent, I can't see him being a Liverpool player. And I think when he played against us, Gary Neville said something in the commentary, like it was like reminded him of Beckham. Like the crosses he can put into the box, some of the best I've seen in this league. He's such a unique footballer. He can do a diagonal 70-yard pass to feet. Some of the passes he plays in behind. But does Arne Slot want a player in and around the club who might not want to be there? I don't think so. Because we were going to get Arne Slot. And we actually, imagine this, just quickly change the subject. We rejected him. Not he rejected us. Daniel Levy had him at the training ground and we said he wasn't the right fit. What the fuck are we doing?
We've now got
a puppet in a suit.
Oh, I didn't. Drift, I don't know if you knew that. I thought it was the other way around.
I thought it was the other way around.
I know that from, not a concrete source. I'm not saying I'm an ITK, but I've heard that from various people that we actually rejected him.
Oh.
Yeah, because he didn't really fit the brand, whatever we have. It's more like Beyonce and a load of other people. But yeah, I think Trent will go. And I think you will, like, in terms of a fullback, he may not be a right back, but you're looking at that. Is it Kurakes for Bournemouth? He's a player. You have got Conor Bradley there, but it just changes the way you play because when Bradley comes in, you're a little bit more pragmatic on the right-hand side. He's not got as good vision. I think he's a better, like, actual defender at times than Trent, but how you're going to play without Trent tomorrow night, I think it might change it a little bit. But going into next season, is there a right back out there you've got your eyes on? Are you going to give it to Conor Bradley? I don't know, but I think Van Dijk and Salah will both stay. I think Salah will sign a 1-year extension and Van Dijk will do 18 months or 2 years. But then again, in 3 years, you're going to be about all three of them because you ain't going to have a 35-year-old Van Dijk, are you, at the club?
I personally would if he hasn't dropped off, but I don't think Edwards will. I think obviously you said you've had Edwards. You know what he's like. He can be quite cutthroat, but he does bring in some fantastic players as well.
His policy is just like strange though, because at first it's like we won't sign a player over the age of 26, we won't sign a player over the age of 23, and then he'll come out of like hidden gem. Like I couldn't get my head around when you signed Chiesa because like he averages like 14 games a season because of his injuries, and we all remember that game against England. Like he tore us to shreds, blah blah blah. Who cares? It's in the past, but it doesn't strike me as a Liverpool player because you need availability all the time. Every single week, you need players on that bench or who are around the squad that can come on and make an impact. And it doesn't really kind of strike me as a Liverpool player.
10 mil, bro. That's why.
Yeah, it's cheap deal.
Yeah, but like, can you? Let's say you had an injury crisis, right, on the right hand side. Let's say Salah got injured, and let's say Harvey Elliott was out for a while, and Gakpo. could you rely on Chiesa to come in for 20 to 23 games consistently performing? No chance.
As of right now, no, we couldn't.
Yeah,
That's
no, no.
I know that's a hypothetical scenario, but I get it's a cheap deal, but he'll be back in Italy in a year, 100%.
You reckon, yeah?
Yeah. Napoli will come in or flipping.
Well, that's what the talk is, bro. The talk is that we knew we'd be able to flip a profit because he's only 26. So if he goes Napoli for 25 mil, we made 10 plus mil. He appeased the fans for one summer because if we didn't sign Casey, we would have actually made not one addition to the squad. Like, it's very strategic. That's why I don't really rate Edwards. Like, I get that what he's done is actually brilliant if you look at his body of work. But again, with all due respect to Tottenham, when he did it with Liverpool mainly and when he did it at Tottenham, there wasn't a high expectation of being the best. He has now got to try and do all of that bargain hunting while we are the best. Like, it don't work. It only works when you're on the come up, when nobody's expecting anything, where you can get away with doing a bit of this and a bit of that. And when you're the best, then you've just got to go out and actually go and buy Vinny Jr. now, or you've actually got to go and buy Rodrigo, or do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if he's capable of doing all of that. Do you not think that
if you don't win the league, I actually think you're favourites for all 4 comps. I'm not going to say you're going to do the quad, but the way you were playing in the Champions League, it was like I don't think there's a harder ground. Maybe the Bernabeu, just because they've got that. Carlo Ancelotti will lift his right eyebrow and he'll bag a hat-trick. But in terms of Anfield, under the lights, I don't think there's a harder ground to go to in the Champions League. If you do, let's say you win the double, I think people will be looking at Liverpool going, like, if Salah leaves, you could approach anyone, really. I don't think Vinny will leave Madrid, but Rodrigo definitely would. I'm amazed you didn't go in
pay
that.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
Pay it and the
we wouldn't pay it. We wouldn't pay what it would take to get it done. That's the problem.
So who would you bring in if Salah left?
I'd just go on hiatus.
Is this talking under the restraints of FSG or in a dream scenario?
Like, yeah, a realistic scenario under FSG. Because I'm surprised you didn't get I don't know how you pronounce his name. The Wi-Fi password is just joined PSG, as I like to call him, Cravadonna. Cristilio, however you pronounce it.
Yeah, he's the one I really wanted us to sign. Like,
he'd have been perfect.
Honestly, I could see us going for like an Mbuemo and Sesko to replace Salah.
Sesko, I get Waymo, but Sesko, I don't know. I think you need to bring someone in like Isak, but then again, that's gonna be 140 million.
You know we ain't doing that, bro.
Exactly. You'll end up flipping signing Waymo and Cunha.
And I like Mbuemo as well, but I mean, to go from Salah to Mbuemo is the biggest anticlimax you've ever seen in your life.
It's almost like going from Kane to Richarlison, isn't it?
Yeah, it would be, yeah.
That's basically what it was like, isn't it?
You've been going through it, Henry. I didn't realise
that would literally be what it's like, for real. And that looked tough to watch. I'm not going to lie.
Tough to watch now. I mean, our fans are calling him R9 and that. Like, what are we doing here?
Oh,
but that's crazy. Yeah, nice. I don't really know what we'll do. I really don't. But we won't pull out the paycheck. That's for sure. Do you know what I mean? So it's just one of them things, man.
How many trophies do you think you'll win this season? I think you'll win 3.
I need to live in a world where we win the Premier League. If I could sacrifice all the trophies right now for the Premier League, I'd probably take it.
I can see.
I want to win. I want to win them all, but yeah, if someone said to me right now, press this button and you win the Premier League, but you don't win anything else, I press the button faster than you've ever seen the button being pressed. I just want that. I just want that Premier League this year. I do. I want it back. And the way we're moving, I don't know when we'll be in this opportunity again. Because if all 3 go or 2 of the 3 go, and we don't get the rebuild right, we're gonna just stop all of Arnie's good work. So yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'll let you know. I'll let you know after the Everton game. I think the Everton game is going to tell me everything I need to know about where this season's going.
It's almost like that's the biggest game of your season, isn't it?
Yeah, it feels like it. It does actually feel like it right now.
I don't think it is.
Do you know?
So it's the last Merseyside derby at their ground, though, isn't it? Like, there's no other team that would want to spoil the party like Everton.
Yeah, I hear it, but I don't think it's the be all and end all for our season. If we lose, we're still 6 points clear. If we draw, it's 7. If we win, it's 9. I don't think it's a must win. It's a game that obviously I'd love us to win, but I don't think it's a must win.
Remember, we got Tottenham, Arsenal, and Chelsea back to back to back in the last 5 games of the running, bro.
Yeah, I know.
You don't want there to be
home, though,
any.
Two at home.
Yeah, I think is it Chelsea? It's Chelsea the away one, I think, isn't it? Yeah, Chelsea away. Stamford Bridge with 3 games to go. It's not where you want to be going. Do you know what I mean?
No, I hear it, but not to sound like big-headed, we could have the league wrapped up by then.
Yeah, and the way Arsenal move, like it's win, have a huge result, draw to Everton, draw to Brighton, but absolutely spank West Ham, draw this, draw that. You're a lot more consistent, and this is why that know-how of winning the big trophies, like the biggest trophy that Saka's won is an FA Cup. You look at Salah, Trent, and Van Dijk that have won everything. That's why I think your squad collectively, I think, is just better. And fair play to Arnie Stock, because I didn't think you'd be this good this season.
I don't think anyone did apart from Drift, to be fair. Drift predicted us to win the league beginning of the season. I said 3rd.
That's mad, but that's like serious cojones that to just say, yeah, we're winning it. Fair play.
I just felt like everyone was downplaying the fact that we were so good last year, and there was a lot of emotions that I think got involved, a lot of fatigue physically and mentally, the injuries. We were having your season last year, horrendous injuries, having to play kids and all kind of craziness. Salah was out for 3 months, Trent was out for 2 months. Like we were down bad last year. And I just looked at the squad and I thought, now Slot knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. He's a little bit more pragmatic, just a little bit more pragmatic than Klopp. He'll shut a game off the way Klopp would be a bit more like, no, let's just kill it. Slot will cut the game off. Like I just thought, no, we can do this. Arsenal, we know they're Arsenal. City won't be as good. I didn't think City would do this, but I knew they'd have a drop off. And yeah, I just thought we'd pip it. I think I said by 2 points or something like that. I was like, I reckon we get it done on the last day, like 2 points. City will finish 3rd. Arsenal finish runners up. And I still hope it's right. I mean, I don't want them to catch us that much because then it'll feel like a bit of a. But like, if I don't care if we win it on the last day by goal difference, as long as we win the league, then do you know what I mean? It is what it is. So yeah, and I can understand why people didn't think we would win it, but I just had a good feeling about this season, and now it's just PTSD every time I get worried. Because I just can't. And I don't even think I'd be as worried. That's why I think my hate for Arsenal is extremely unhealthy. Because if it was City that were running us down and Arsenal were nowhere to be seen, I'd be like, well, bottling this league's a bitch, but there's going to be nobody to really see it. And then we just try and... If Arsenal were the reason why we bottled the league, yeah, I'm getting on one of them Elon Musk spaceships, bro, and I'm out of here because I do not want to be living on this earth with them saying they pulled it back from a 6-point deficit. No fucking way.
It'd be bad enough tonight if they pull it back, let alone the league.
They're gonna pull it back today. They're catching Newcastle at the right time. They're gonna pull it back today.
I think it'll be a draw. I think Newcastle have got Arsenal's number at St James's. They've won the last 3 games there and they ain't conceded a goal. And they've got Isak, who's a match winner. I'm looking at Arsenal going, yeah, you beat City, but who's the match winner? Who's going to grab the game by the scruff of the neck? So me, Odegaard don't do enough. Like as a captain, Havertz, well, Jesus Christ.
If they get an early goal, though,
I think Arsenal go through as well. By the way,
you both think Arsenal will pull it back? Wow.
Yeah. I think they're going to pull it back so much. I've actually put 100 quid on it.
Jesus Christ! Wow.
Yeah.
What about
450 back? No, yeah, 450 back for Arsenal to win the tie. So
yeah, if they do get an early goal, Newcastle.
I think they're going to do it. I actually think they're going to. I thought that's free money. I do not want to be sitting there when they're in the final and regret it. So I just did it. I was like, do you know,
so you'd happily lose £100 if Newcastle go through.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you, it won't bother me a bit. I'll be like, I lost money, but. Look at the look on their faces. They're devastated. It was worth it. So I know a lot of people think I'm crazy, but 450 back for the win. I'll take that, man. Christmas is still kicking my ass, so let me have some of that money.
Henry, before we do score predictions from your side, if I was to say to you, you've got open checkbook and you could sign one Liverpool player for this Spurs team currently, who would it be and why?
Oh, that's a good question. Probably Ryan Gravenberch from your midfield. I think him alongside. But I want to see Gray in midfield because we've never seen him because he's been at centre back and he has got a lot of ability. But him, Ryan in our midfield, as much as I take Trent, I think that's like, and Salah for the longevity, like for the next 4 or 5 years, him and Van Dijk, and for me, I take Ryan. I honestly think he's something else. Like the last year, the fact that it's criminal that Klopp didn't use him as much as Arnie has, and the role he's got in playing. He does this thing where the ball comes into him at pace, and one touch he turns, and I'm like, that's like what I don't want to compare him because I think it's a little bit disrespectful to Busquets, but that is a Busquets level turn. That touch and away is exactly what he used to do, and he does it in the most pressured scenarios. Like he's pressure resistant, his weight of pass is great, and partnered with McAllister, I think that midfield. I think if you get the 10 right, because I do think Szoboszlai is a little bit hit and miss at times. If you brought in a 10 who could play there, I think you'd have probably the best midfield in Europe. Like I really like Newcastle's midfield with Tonali, Bruno, and Joelinton. I think they've got the perfect balance. But I think yours is just like their midfield on roids. But I'd take him. Who would you lot take from our team?
That was literally my next question, Drift. Who would you take from Spurs?
Kulusevski in a heartbeat. Udogie.
He's a good player.
Remember, I was saying, I'd take it though, because I think he's suffering from your system. I think he's a good left back, but he's just your system is crazy, and he's like just constantly because he's becoming a bit injury prone now as well. He's picking up a lot of knocks.
He's young though.
Yeah, he's only like 21, 22.
Yeah, so
but that's what I mean. I think his body's being put under too much physical, like that. Just Van de Ven. Like I think a lot of these players that they might have got little knocks here and there, but they weren't getting. I think Porro might be the only one who hasn't got like
it's
a
Porro
long-term injury.
They're the only two.
You know
Would you say Porro? As a Trent
I would. I remember saying to Cal, like, he's the only one who I would replace Trent with, even though I think he's not great defensively. I think he would, attacking-wise, make us feel like we still had that kind of similar balance to what we have now. He's got a very good cross, Porro. He's got an eye for goal. He's quick. I think defensively in a better system, he might look better as well. Again, I can't judge any of your players playing the way you play because you're being put under immense stress constantly every week, one-on-ones all the time, high line, balling behind all the time. If you got Porro playing in a mid block or a low block, I think he'd be a good right back.
Would you take Van de Ven?
Without the injuries,
for the squad, I would, if he wasn't injury prone, yeah.
Well, let's say Van Dijk goes, and I'm not saying he's going to replace Van Dijk, by the way. But if you were looking at centre backs, who would you bring in if Van Dijk went?
There's no one, bro. That's why he's the most important one out of all of them. There's no one. You couldn't even bring me Bastoni and please me.
I'd probably try and go for Schlotterbeck. If it wasn't for the injuries, Henry, I would definitely look at Van de Ven. But the injuries,
I think it's the same thing, like in a different system. Because you got to remember, he's doing like 60-yard sprints most weeks. You ain't doing that in your system.
Yeah, I hear that. What do you think of Jed Spence? Because I've said on the hair and I got ridiculed for it. If Trent goes, I'd go for Jed Spence because
he's a player. Do you know statistically he's the best right back defensively? He's only been beaten 3 times this season in one-on-ones. 3 times. So all he's been beaten. The numbers come out this morning. He's so good defensively. And bearing in mind he's playing left back as well. So he's playing out of position. He locked up Guaymar against Brentford. He didn't beat him once. You know, he did well in the Liverpool game as well.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to see if he plays him. If he plays in left back tonight, now you got the ultimate test. Now, are you going to defend that Liverpool front three?
He did that in the first leg. He played left back in the first leg, and he did kind of lock Salah up.
Yeah, and this guy. Bearing in mind, this guy, I think he's 23,
23, 24. Yeah.
Jed Spence. He is 24. So he's at like an age where you could pick him up, have him for 5 or 6 years comfortably at a really good level. Because I think once Robertson goes, that's a big like Kirikas at Bournemouth. I think will probably be the ideal replacement. I don't think
He's a
Robinson.
Man U fan. I don't even
Yeah,
think
yeah, he won't come
come
to
Liverpool, to be honest.
I think someone
Yeah,
like
you say that though, but
would be good.
Jermaine Defoe was an Arsenal fan and he got 120 goals for Spurs.
Yeah, true.
Kulusevski's an Arsenal fan.
That's true.
So like,
no, but remember they were built different back then. New generation of snowflakes, man. Back in the day, they just got the job done in it. They did what they needed to do. These lot are just, you know what I mean. But I would take Spence in the squad. The reason why I laughed at Cal for saying it was because that drop off is crazy in terms of responsibility. But in terms of the ability of the kid, no one's ever doubted Spencer's got ability. He's definitely a good player. I was always really, really confused why Conte didn't use him. Like the way he just dismissed him totally was just weird.
Well, he wasn't Conte's signing; he was a club signing. So I think Conte was kind of like, he's not my player.
And he's a better
player to utilize in this. Like, say for example, look what we did with Moses, right? When he was at Chelsea. Now Moses was a good attacking player, but he wasn't good defensively. And look what Conte made him. So if you got players already good defensively, if you play him at wing back, we saw him at Nottingham Forest. He was good at attacking Spence. So it's like he had the perfect little weapon. That was so confusing that he never used Spence.
The thing is,
it was weird.
Conte had like Bastoni, De Vrij, and Skriniar in a back three, which is like they're all defenders who love to defend. We had Dyer, Longley. Like I don't even want to talk about it. That defense was like a sieve. It was leaking everywhere.
Yeah, that was mad.
But yeah, I don't even want to think about tomorrow night's game.
I can understand why you're nervous, but trust me, I'm anxious. I wouldn't nervous might be going too far, but I'm very anxious about this.
But you just know if you score in the first 15 minutes,
oh yeah, it's done.
The Kop end are going to be like bouncing, like they've just been out on the bugle all night. Like they're going to be going absolutely mad. And you just know when the pressure's on Tottenham, week 8. But I've still got like stress from that Champions League final when that was never a penalty, but they decided to give it. Like I just when you're the actual team, I hate playing the most. I hate playing Liverpool more than Chelsea, than Arsenal, because something always goes wrong against us. Always. Like all those years back when Harry Kane.
I'm not gonna lie, we feel the same.
Yeah, because like even the season we were chasing the quad, Henry, we got that draw against you at Anfield. That was a big result in the way the season panned out. Like the 2-2 when Kane got the penalty after.
We should have won that as well because he missed the first one, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah. So
like,
there's a few games, like even the game where Robbo got sent off, the 2-2 where Robbo got sent off against you guys, and Kane went through Robbo and just got a yellow card. Like
we forgot the referee forgot about that one.
I mean, you know, the Diaz,
disallowed goal. Like
that one was. I was actually at that game as well. What was it? Canate 95th minute own goal.
No, Matip.
Oh, was it Matip? Yeah, I remember it.
Yeah, so we feel the same way about you lot, bro. To be honest, you know what I mean. Every time we've been in a title race, you've come and took a point at Anfield in the running. So it's almost like you've actually helped City win the league. So we've got a bit of a feeling like that.
But to be fair, our fans were singing about City last year anyway, so that wouldn't surprise me.
But shall I tell you why I can't even get Spurs for that? Because every season we're in a title race, they seem to beat City. So we can't even blame it on the Spurs. They actually
no, it's not Spurs' fault, but I'm saying they've just got this thing where they managed to like get points against us when because even that Kane thingy, that was the year we won the Champions League. Do you know what I mean? And that could have been.
It was the year after. It was the year after. The Kane penalty was the year after.
No, I'm sure it was the year we won the Champions League.
17-18 was when the Kane penalty incident game, and then we won it 18-19.
Okay.
Trust me, Drew.
Was
that
Wanyama's rocket?
Yeah, Wanyama's rocket. Yeah.
He come on at the 80th minute. I was screaming at Teddy Poch, "What are you fucking doing, bringing on Wanyama?" And then 4 minutes later, I was like, "Do you know what? Like that's one of the best goals I've ever seen in my life." Let alone at Anfield, that goal was incredible.
Yeah. It wasn't the 80th minute.
I couldn't believe what I saw. It was just
that wasn't the 80th minute. Wanyama started. I think Wanyama came on at half time for you guys that game.
No, 80th minute he come on.
I'm almost certain he didn't, because you didn't score in the 80th minute. You scored before that, because we scored in like the 90-something minute, and then
I think Wanyama scored past us twice. You know,
no, he didn't. So it was 2-1. So Salah got the first goal early in the first half. Then Wanyama made it 1-1.
He equalised on the 80th minute. He come on at half time. You're right.
Yeah.
But still, I was like, why are we bringing on a DM?
Yeah.
And then he just pulls out one of the most ridiculous goals I think you'll ever see.
Goal was crazy. And then Kane got a penalty, but the penalty shouldn't have been given because I think he was offside, but they didn't give the offside and he got the penalty.
Yeah.
Hit down the middle, Carrier saved it. Then Salah got the goal to make it 2-1. And then Virgil van Dijk went to kick the ball, kicked Lamela, and then they got the second penalty and Kane stuck
That
it away.
shit house Lamela. Did you see the goal he scored the other night in Greece?
No.
Oh my Lord. The corner went in. They got headed out. He must have been 35 yards out and he's just left peg volley off the bar and in.
Jeez.
Like, why can't you do that for us? Like, what's going on?
I know, but he scored that
There's a Rabona goal, yeah.
Rabona goal.
Oh, yeah, but come on. It was against like some flipping Austrian plumbers. Like, do that at Man City away.
No, didn't he do it in the North London?
He did it in the
Oh, yeah, but like, okay, that one was cold, but the one in the Europa League that everyone was like, getting themselves off to was against like flipping a part-time.
Yeah. I get where you come from, but the one against Arsenal was quality though. That was
cold.
He was the definition of like talent with no drive, innit, Lamela? Like he had all the talent, but he never had the work rate to be.
It's just a street player. The same as like Del Tarat, Ben Arthur, kind of fits in that mold. Meet you.
Yeah.
Like streets will never forget sort of player.
Yeah. Facts. All right, let me hit out these supers and I'll give you a bit of time to think of your score prediction, Henry. Frankie Fast Hand says, man, Spurs really going through it. Henry, are you excited by Tell? Also, can you organize Beyonce tickets for June concert? 3 seats, please.
These football clubs are fucking disgrace. The day after deadline day, they announced that Beyonce's got 5 concerts.
Did they?
I'm sorry, but that deserves a protest on its own.
Yeah,
not
that's
with some guy out the front of a banjo guitar after he's just spent a monkey in the club shop. Like, come on, what are we doing here?
Yeah. That's crazy. But your revenue's crazy, ain't you? Like the 5th richest club in the world now in terms of
we
revenue?
only spend 47% of our revenue on wages, which is the lowest in the Premier League.
That's a conversation for another day. I actually debunked Liverpool's wages the other day. We're cooking the books a little bit apparently. But yeah, the less said about that on YouTube, the better, right? Sharif says this guy's funny. Sure isn't a red. Mono equal. I kind of don't even get that super chat. So yeah, cheers. Ty says even a Spurs fan can see he's a Busquets regen. Oh, he didn't. Ty, he didn't call him a Busquets regen. he said there's Busquets-esque technique there. But Gravenberch has been sensational.
So that last super chat, was he referring to me being worried about?
I don't know.
I'm confused what that. Yeah. I was just like trying to figure that out. I was like, what did he?
Yeah, no idea. Nito Nova, remember Salah's first season when he scored won the goal, but they got a penalty last minute and equalised. Ref did us in. Yeah, he did. Absolutely did us in that game. Brilliant game of football
season where was it the COVID season where Firmino scored that header from the corner when Dyer was like marking the shadow?
Yeah.
That was a last minute winner one.
Salah got the first goal deflected, then Son got a goal in that game, and then Firmino got the last minute winner.
Yeah, that I lost my head at that game as well.
Yeah, I went crazy when Firmino scored the winner.
I don't think there's ever been a quiet game between the two, which is one thing the neutrals must like whenever Liverpool play Spurs. Even the 0-0s or the 1-1s are still crazy incident based. They're not boring. They're not. Do you know what I mean? Like there's always something going on.
I think the last 0-0 between us, which I would actually say was quite a quiet game, was Klopp's first game.
Didn't we? We did you like 4-0 at Wembley, and then you turned up a few years before that and did us 3-0 at White Hart Lane, and it was Moreno scored that goal like from the edge of the box.
Yeah, so that was 14-15. We beat you 3-0. I think Sterling got the first. No, Suarez was gone. That Suarez went. So Suarez the season before that at your place, we beat you 5-0.
Do you remember all Liverpool results or something?
Yeah, I've got a bit.
No, he's like Rain Man. Yeah. It's crazy, bro. Like, so we actually do it in the chat with Black Cow in like 1974.
No, it's not that.
I know someone at Spurs who can like tell you all the results up until like 2003 onwards. And I'd be like, 2006 score against Newcastle. He was like, yeah. And he would tell me. I'm like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's quite freaky, isn't it?
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie.
yeah, that's the sort. Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, that's mad.
Yeah, yeah. I can't explain it. I can just The other day, one of my friends was round and he started quizzing me, and he was like, "I'm gonna go through all of the 1920 results from the first game of the season," and I was able to tell him the results.
1920.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, 100 years ago.
I don't
No,
know
the
how-
1920 season, not 19.
Oh, I thought you meant as a 19. I was like, Jesus Christ. That's before World War II.
No,
I didn't realise you meant
1920.
1920 is in the year you won the league.
Yeah.
I was like, bloody hell. Like, I know
That'd be
there's a Liverpool fan, but Jesus.
No, I'm not gonna lie. We're about to get you tested if you actually could go back to 1920 count, actually list off every game in the season. That would be fucking wild.
That would be mad. But Henry, before we do score predictions, can you let the people know where they can find you and support you, bro?
Yeah, just at Henry Talks Football, or as people call me, Henry Talks Bollocks or whatever. Go down and hit that subscribe button.
So rude. People are so rude, man.
It's just a certain fans, little minions comes after me. But yeah, I cover pretty much every club on there. Actually just dropped the video about Van der Ven's injury. Oh yeah, Van der Ven apparently won't be playing.
Yeah.
I thought people were just trolling. Is that real?
Yeah.
No, Angie's press conference is at 4. So we'll know at 4 p.m. But as it stands, it's up in the air. So I've done a video about that, talking about where we could be like, well, Lily Phillips, the whole Liverpool team just going through us. But yeah, you can find me at Henry Talks Football. In terms of my prediction, if we can somehow quieten that crowd, which I'm saying somehow, we may be able to get something out of this game. When do you play Everton after you got FA Cup the weekend? Who did you get?
Yeah. Is it Plymouth in that?
So, I mean, how the fuck have you got? We got Villa away, right? Our League Cup run, Man City, Coventry away, Man United, and Liverpool. And who have you played? West Ham, flipping
Accrington Stanley.
That's what I'm saying. It's a fucking joke, mate. How are we like, we're sitting with 15?
You do get. I'm not gonna lie. Tottenham do get stitched in the cup. I've noticed that you do get a lot of crazy draws.
It's ridiculous. But if first 15 minutes, I say this all the time about Arnie Slot. The first 15 minutes in the first half and the second half are the most important part of the game because it's how you start, is how you're going to go on. If you come out the traps flying, then it's going to be a long day at the office. If we can, I want to see 50-50s going in, Bentancur leaving a bit on Ryan, Jed Spence leaving a bit on Salah. Try and rough them up a bit. We know they're such a good team, but when you're being Liverpool, for me, when you can beat them is when you're actually going in like when you played Fulham. I think Robinson went in like 3 or 4 times on. I can't remember who he was up against, but he didn't get. Was it before or after he got sent off?
Who, Robbo?
No,
20,
Robinson
I think he
for
got
Fulham.
sent off after about 20 minutes, I think, against Fulham.
Or who was on the other side? Whoever the right back was going into someone like 3 or 4 times.
Tete, I think it was.
And if Forest can get a result there, if Fulham can get a result there, then what am I kidding? Like they're better defensively than us. I've just got to pray. I've got to pray, but I am gonna somehow back a draw. I don't know why. I think it will be one of these games where you'll have about 40 shots and like 6 on target. And I think we'll come out of a draw like 1-1 or something.
Let's say the two teams win and go through, hypothetically. First of all, what a final that'd be, Newcastle, Tottenham. That'd be a brilliant final. Do you think you'd have enough know-how to get it done in that final, or do you think Newcastle would have a bit too much for you?
Well, by that final, we'll have. You'd hope we'd have a fully fit team again. So we'd have Romero and Van der Ven back. We'd have Solanke back. We'll have Udogie and Porro. Combined, Newcastle and Spurs haven't won a trophy in like 70 years combined. If you look at how long they've been. So that would be a final for the ages. That would be like, your granddad who's like 89 getting his popcorn out saying, well, we can finally watch Spurs win a trophy. But I'd still think Newcastle are stronger because they've got more match winners in their team and they've got a better midfield. But I would back us over 90 minutes to get the job done. But knowing us, it would be like the last League Cup we won, where we'd be Jonathan Woodgate would come off, would roll him out at like 51 years of age and he'd end up scoring against them. But yeah, I'd back us to beat Newcastle. But if we get past Liverpool, yeah, like that's the biggest result for me. For 17 years, like we've got Tell apparently making his debut tonight. Danso's probably going to start. Like that's an uncomfortable game to be starting at centre back in against that Liverpool front three in it. Like that's you wouldn't wish that on your worst sort of enemy, let alone our own player.
Yeah.
So
it's a big game.
But yeah,
it's a big game. It's a big game, man.
People, look, we're going to wrap up there. Henry, once again, you've been generous with your time and really appreciate you jumping on the channel, man. Wish you all the best for the future on your channel. Obviously, apart from tomorrow's game, we wish you the best for the rest of the season as well. And always a pleasure working with you, man. And thank you. Drift, anything you want to tell the people before we sign off?
Yeah, I'll be doing the game tonight, guys. Let me put the link in the chat. So if you want to come and see who will be the opposition for the winner of this game. So guys, yeah, come and join me tonight for that one. It should be fun. Get your popcorn ready. I've got I've admitted it in purpose because in public, because that's what you got to do. I have an unhealthy hate for Arsenal, really do. I'm trying to get it under control, people, but you know what I mean. If you want to come and watch me, watch them do their thing tonight, then yeah. And other than that, just big up Henry as well, especially with it being last minute notice as well, bro. So big up for that. And yeah, let's see what go on. Let's see. I want the winner, even though I've got an absolute soft spot for Newcastle. They're probably my second team because of my family, because my family's from Newcastle. So I don't support another team, but like I'm always like looking out for them through family ties. So it'd be a little bit of a mad one.
You got Newcastle. So let me guess. Is it the who was the player the Jamaican player you lot used to have?
Oh, John Barnes.
Yeah, like with all the Midea and all that sort of stuff. Is that how you're?
Yeah. Family ties for that, and then family ties for Newcastle.
Oh, right.
I mean, I've actually got one uncle who's a Sunderland fan as well, which kind of gets real crazy in the family. Yeah. Sunderland and Newcastle.
At least you got the Henderson link there.
Yeah,
Yeah. I remember speaking to him when we signed him, and he was like, "Yeah, he's a good player." And at the time, I was like, "Nah, I don't know what you're talking about. This guy looks trash." But yeah, so it'll be if Newcastle and Tottenham are in the final against each other, I'd probably be able to relax and actually enjoy that one, because for me that one would be about whoever wins deserves it after all these years, kind of thing. So as long as Newcastle get through, I'll probably relax a little bit tonight. So we'll see. But yeah,
it's a massive
big up everyone, and yeah, we'll be back to see what happens after the game.
Indeed. Guys, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Also, make sure you guys support Henry with all the stuff he's doing as well. We will be back tomorrow night, people. Firstly on Big Up to do the watch along, and then back here for the live match reaction. So make sure you switch on the notification bell and have a fantastic day wherever you are in the world. And yeah, hopefully we get the result tomorrow and we progress to another Carabao Cup final. And now, Henry, once again, thank you, bro. People in the comments, smash that like button. Enough love to you all. Till we see you next time. Stay safe, stay blessed. We're Kopish. Right, people. Take care.
Peace.